Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Trust God's plan even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Step out in faith, knowing that God will guide and support you along the way, even if you can't see the outcome. Trusting in the Lord with all your heart and leaning not on your own understanding, Proverbs 3 verses 5-6. Let your light shine so brightly that others can see their way out of the dark. Live a life that reflects the love and light of Jesus Christ. As Christians, we are called to be beacons of hope and encouragement to those around us, showing them the way to God through our words and actions. It echoes Jesus' words in Matthew 5 verse 16, where he encourages his followers to let their light shine before others. God's delays are not God's denials. Explanation: this quote reminds us that just because God doesn't answer our prayers immediately or in the way we expect, it doesn't mean he has abandoned us. Sometimes, God's timing is different from ours, but his plans are always for our good, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. It encourages patience and trust in God's perfect timing. In the presence of God, fear disappears like darkness in the light. When we draw near to him in prayer and worship, our fears and anxieties are washed away by his peace and love. Psalm 23 verse 4, which assures us that even in the darkest valleys, we need not fear because God is with us. Prayer is not asking. It is a longing of the soul, a daily admission of one's weakness, a sincere thanksgiving for the strength that sustains us. Prayer is more than just making requests to God. It's about deepening our relationship with him, expressing our vulnerabilities, and acknowledging his constant provision and grace in our lives. It aligns with Philippians 4 verses 6-7, which encourages us to present our requests to God with thanksgiving. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. From Joshua 1 verse 9, serves as a powerful reminder of God's presence and faithfulness in our lives. It encourages us to face challenges with strength and courage, knowing that God goes before us and will never leave nor forsake us, Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. Let your faith be bigger than your fears, and your dreams be bigger than your doubts. It's good for us to cultivate a faith that outweighs our fears and doubts. It's about focusing on the promises of God rather than the uncertainties of life, trusting that he is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, Ephesians 3 verse 20. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. God sees it all, regardless of how others perceive us. It's a reminder that our value comes from being created in the image of God, Genesis 1 verse 27, and loved unconditionally by him, rather than from the opinions or judgments of others. You were born to be real, not to be perfect. Let God's grace be the fuel that propels you forward. Recognizing that we all have flaws and imperfections. It reminds us to rely on God's grace rather than striving for perfection, knowing that his power is made perfect in our weakness, 2 Corinthians 1.